move a river down the back of our house. So after hard runs, I've taken to sticking my feet in the river. So I'll see how long I last here. It's actually very cold. Very cold. It's probably from all the rain. So I'll probably be hopping in and out. But it's good recovery for my feet and calves. It's about as far as I can get. There's no depth. So just checking in with everyone. I wanted to just chat a little bit. On social media, we're always getting the message of you've got to push through, no pain, no gain, no excuses, and all of that malarkey. And look, talking of pain, I'll go back in again. Do you know you have a lot of pain receptors in your feet? So when you're doing cold water exposure, it's the hardest for your feet and the most painful. And I've definitely found that when I do ice baths, I stick my feet out, I don't go in. Some people don't seem to mind it, but a lot of people struggle with their feet in the cold. Oh, jeepers, I'm struggling with my feet in the cold today. So yeah, this whole mantra of no pain, no gain. Now look, I do think to achieve things we have to push through sometimes, or maybe a percentage of the time, over 50%, but also there's a time when that's not appropriate. Because the body is tired, or the mind is tired, or circumstances have been rough emotionally, and there's no reserve there to push through, and pushing through may actually be destructive for your health and your well-being, and ultimately your mind, when everything comes crashing around you because you've hit physical, mental and emotional exhaustion. Now there's also times when it is good to push through. I'm not pushing through very well today. Oh, it's freezing. Because it gives us a sense of reward. We feel like we've achieved something in the midst of maybe not feeling like we're achieving things. We see progress when we push ourselves. And it's positive. And also we're not going to achieve our goals if we're not doing a certain amount of pushing. Now, in my line of work, I see various personalities because I work with the whole spectrum of people. So I work with a lot of type A's, successful business people, successful athletes, and they're always living above that grey line, in the red zone. Crash and burn happens and massive success happens, and I think they're always trying to leverage the massive success versus the massive crash and burn. I'm going to use bad language here, but I think it's always a line of between fit and fucked. And you know what? That's what they need to achieve. So they're not very good at understanding the regulatory balance between parasympathetic parasympathetic rest and sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, go, win. And that balance is actually very important, which is why those athletes usually end up in my door. They have chronic fatigue or burnout or chronic injury, or it may manifest as anxiety and a mental and emotional crash. And then I have the other side of it, where some people are absolutely terrified of, just getting her grass fixed, absolutely terrified of pushing through for whatever reason. So they're kind of stuck and not making sort of any progress, and that's also very complicated, because I just saw a kingfisher. Because we do have to push ourselves a little, and that's also for various complex reasons. A lot of patients that are in that chronic shutdown aren't actually comfortable with feeling a high physiological stress load. So there's a huge variance between these patients, and it's knowing how to guide them along, and then it's knowing ourselves. So an example would be, I'm going to make it personal, but you reflect on yourself, and I'm going to go into the cold again. last year, obviously, a lot of you know I had a severe concussion. Well, I think it was. It took a year to heal. I don't know how that's described as mild by the medical profession. I couldn't look at a computer for 5 months. So I kept being told, you have to push through. You have to, you know, just go through it all, challenge yourself. And there was no freaking way I could just push through. The symptoms were horrendous. So I know my body, and I didn't push through. I pushed to the level of knowing where my line was. I was probably over the line most of the time anyway, but for me, I knew what was right for me. Now, 13 months on, I'm probably doing another Andrea on a marathon, which means I'm trying to bring up my training volume far too quickly in too short a time, because I've set a goal for myself and I need to do this for me. I just need to follow this goal through. However, I'm also adjusting my plan based on what my body's saying. So today I pushed through and did a hard session, but I cut one interval short. So it's all about adapting. Yes, pushing, but not necessarily being blind to where your body is on the day. And that can be interesting, because someone commented to me, well, you're not, you know, I said, why don't you do the Hanson training plan? I find it really good and I've adapted it. And they're like, but you're not doing the plan then. How can any plan written in a book know me or you or anybody? I do think we need to amend things a little bit based on our bodies, their recovery, their energy, the total stress load, heart rate variability, feedback, sleep, you know, all of these things. Because no coach sitting in their office writing a book can write a plan that's going to work for every single body. Like, of course not. So I think if you don't know enough about things, that's where individual coaching or having someone to speak to about things is really, really helpful. So yeah, I pushed today, but I didn't push mental. So I guess the bottom line is, we do always need to be pushing ourselves along. As human beings, we thrive on that sort of stress adaptation cycle. We like challenge, we like variety, we like to frighten ourselves, we like to find out where our extremes are, but also we need rest, we need peace, we need calm, we need quiet, we need recovery. I think our modern world has sort of lost that sense. So you've got to find it for yourself. And the other condition I'm going to put it on all of it is, your body never has a day off needing good nutrition. It never has a day off needing good sleep. It never has a day off where it just needs you loving him or her. So she's going to chuck up later with all of that grass. So mind yourselves. Mind yourselves, mind yourselves. Love you lots. Nope. Chilly, chilly, chilly.